How's it going, people? Salmon Slabber here, and this is your BTS/patch notes for this week. There's quite a few things kind of need to be said. There's a few updates. You've got the Solomon General Store, quite a few things in there. You've got the majharrat miniquest Medulla thing, and they've changed the high scores, and there's bollocks on a patch note. So yeah, let's get started. So the Solomon's General Store, they've added a wealth evaluator, and well, yeah, it's probably exactly what you're thinking. It's exactly as it sounds. It's a wealth evaluator. Basically, in a nutshell, this thing will check everything you own/possess, whether it's in the Grand Exchange, your bank, you're wearing it, or it's in your inventory, or your dragon keepsakes, and it'll evaluate exactly how much it's all worth. Yeah, so this is in the Solomon Store. It's a thing. It will cost you rune coins, obviously, because it is in the actual store itself, and you don't permanently keep it by buying it. You can activate it, and once you do, you'll have 14 days of use. You can stack these on top of each other if you really want, and that can be stacked up to 6 months apparently. So yeah, there is this thing in here which you can have a little gander on. Apparently quest items and the like are valued massively high. So yeah, if you want a kind of a more accurate, you kind of need to get rid of all the quest items. But yeah, this is in there now. It's a thing. If this is what you're looking for, then you can have a gander at that. Moving on, you now have the high scores weekly as well as monthly XP tables. Now, it wasn't too long ago I was told about another website called Rune Tracker, and basically that tracks XP by week, month, and everything along those lines. So in a nutshell, this is that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's honestly not a lot else to be talking about here. They've got a weekly high scores. It'll tell you who's gained the most XP in a week in whatever skill you're looking at, pretty much. So yeah, apparently the first weekly table will be up until the 19th, so 2 days from now, and apparently the weekly tables will reset every Wednesday. So yeah, I guess you can check that out. So moving on to kind of a slightly more major update, I guess, is the majharrat memories and Circus Improvements. So there's a few things in here. A lot of it is adding stuff like lore, and it also adds the mini quest for the majharrat memories, which carries on from Koshkai's Troubles mini quest. Now, if you don't know what the Koshkai Troubles are, then I can't remember which quest it was, but just before it came out, you can turn your, I can't remember what they're called, Dagonoth axe. I can't even remember what it is. Anyway, you could turn that into different colours. Yay. It'll also change the stats a bit. It's that little mini quest that gives you that. Basically, this is, I suppose, an add-on for that. Additionally, they have changed the circus distractions and diversions, apparently sorting out many people's requests. Additionally, the ribbon system is now in game. So let's kick it off with the majharrat memories. So like I just said, this follows Koshkai. Basically, if you don't know who Koshkai is, I made a little RS lore video not so long ago. You can check that out. That'll pretty much tell you everything about him you actually want to know, and then a little bit more. So this is added on to it. Basically, he lost his memories, and when we found him, we kind of helped him remember that he's actually a majharrat. And yeah, it carries on from that. Basically, the dude is clueless, so we're going to help him out, and this is the mini quest for it. Now this I will be making a guide for. It'll either be up later today or tomorrow, I would have thought. Possibly early tomorrow morning, hopefully. If I can, then I'll get it up later on today, but it will definitely be up by tomorrow. Either way, this is now in game, so if you haven't done that, have a little gander at that or wait for the guide. Either way, up to you, peoples. You do need to have completed the Ritual of the Majharrat, Blood Runs Deep, Fremennik Trials, and Glorious Memories though, so yeah. You also need at least 60 divination and completed the original mini quest Koshkai's Trouble. Moving on to the next one, this is the Circus Improvements. I don't know how many people actually do the circus. Personally, I've never really done it. I've done it once, I think, and never really went back. So the circus is, if I remember rightly, a weekly D&D, and within the circus itself, there's a few things you can get XP in. These are agility, magic, and ranged. And it wasn't bad XP, to be totally honest. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. On top of that, by doing this, you do get the cosmetic costume of the ringmaster as well as the acrobat and a few other things. So all in all, it wasn't that bad. Personally, I just never really found it all that useful. So these are the improvements they're making to this D&D. So yeah, maybe I might find myself here more. You no longer need to pick up and equip items for your performances. That's actually kind of nice, because that's annoying as fuck to do. The agility event has been improved, making it more rewarding for low level players and bringing the XP rate for all players up slightly. Yeah, we'll see how much the XP you actually get then. That'd be quite handy for the max game from scratch methinks. All costume rewards will also unlock a cosmetic override. Now that is nice to hear. I wish they did this for pretty much all the distractions and diversions and all minigames and stuff where you have to buy equipment, so you can just use it as an override instead. That'd actually be kind of nice. You don't need to talk to tutors to start each performance anymore, and a large amount of non-essential dialogue has been made optional or entirely removed. Yeah, fair enough, saves a bit of time, good times. The Ringmaster cutscene will no longer play if you've already seen it. I didn't even know there was a cutscene, but fair enough. The new interface will be shown during each performance, displaying your current score, which tricks that you've already performed, and the current audience request. That is kind of handy, because every now and then, I don't know if you've actually done it, but the audience in the background will start shouting out random stuff they'd ideally want you to do, and if you do it and actually succeed, you gain a bonus amount of points and it ups your XP a little bit. It's kind of nice to do, since if you get over a certain score, it also unlocks the cosmetic clothing. So yeah, there is that. That'll help out quite a bit of me thinks. A bunch of other small fixes and tweaks as requested, which I'll tell you about in the patch notes if they're there in just a second. So the other major-ish update is the Customizable Ribbon. Now, for those of you who either much prefer the old layout on previous to EOC, well, Runescape 3 I should say, the interface update, then this will probably make you kind of happy. So in a nutshell, as you can see, when you're in game and on this little picture here, at the moment you have something that looks rather similar to this, where you've got like the My Hero tab, Abilities tab, the Quest tab, the Friend tab or Social tab, whatever you want to call it. Basically that's how it's laid out. Now prior to the interface thing, it was something along the lines of inventory, equipment, then prayer, then your melee, then range, then magic, and it was all in nice little separate little categories. Well, with the ribbon, you can click this little button here. It looks like a little square. It's on the ribbon itself, this kind of mini interface thing. You click that, it'll open up a little screen for you, and once that's there, you can start editing your own personal version. So with that, you can then change all of these to your basic inventory, equipment, prayer, magic, range, melee, defense, and then you'll always have the like Squeal of Fortune or Treasure Hunter kind of icon thing there to take you to Solomon's Store and stuff like that. That's still on there, unfortunately. As far as I know, you can't take it off. There we go. Those are kind of like the major updates, and yeah. So the mini quest guide for the Majharrat memories, I'll hopefully have up either later today or tomorrow, so no worries there. Moving on though, we have the mighty patch notes. There's quite a lot of patches this time, so yeah, this might take a little bit of time. I would highly advise just kind of monging out for a little bit, because this is probably going to be very boring to hear, but nonetheless, let's have at it, people. Graphical updates. The RuneScape 3 logo has been changed to a RuneScape logo throughout the game. The pet house in player-owned houses has been updated to the new interface theme. The icons used in the combat settings interface for momentum, revolution and full manual modes have been updated. Moving on to skills and minigames, players may now toggle run via the action bar when disguised on the Canifis map within Heist. Robbers who are converted to guards in Heist may no longer have their keys pickpocketed. Resist Arrest will now stun a guard for 2 seconds longer and restore 20% of the robber's run energy. A previously blocked window on the Berthorpe Night map in Heist has been unblocked. Sacred Clay harpoons are now correctly recognised as harpoons when fishing. Really? That was a thing? Bad times. A tree near the water obelisk has been moved slightly so that an elite clue scroll location is once again accessible. Why was it moved in the first place is the better question, I think. Players can once again proceed past the section where the player has to use the battle cry command in the Conquest tutorial. About time on that one, to be honest. I've got quite a few people commenting on the quest guides for them, saying they can't get past Conquest because you need the tutorial in order to start the final one against the Pest Queen. Yeah, that's been going on for a long time. That should have been fixed long ago. Moving on to your quests and achievements. The Dragon Rider Amulet can now be added to the Dragon Keepsake box. Due to high tier nature of the Dragon Rider Amulet, it is no longer automatically protected on death. Players can now make additional animate rock scrolls after completing the one-of-a-kind quest. A warning concerning the wilderness has been added to the quest requirements of one-of-a-kind. Birthright of the Dwarfs now lists King of the Dwarfs as a requirement in the quest overview. The submarine section of Some Like It Cold now opens the overlay in the minigame HUD. Signs of the Portal will no longer teleport Mortimer Fungus at certain parts of the Nature Spirit quest. Players can now stand on the podiums in the Empyrean Citadel after completing Missing Presumed Death. Moving on to other, just a second, need a drink before I pass out. So, on to the miscellaneous fixes. An additional tutorial and pop-up has been added to tell players about Revolution. Using an item on a Celestial Dragon no longer causes it to consistently play an attack animation. The unlocked music total has been corrected, and certain silent music tracks have been hidden. The message given when you find a treasure hunter key now appears coloured to make it more noticeable. Karasi's sword can now be overridden by long swords and scimitars rather than daggers and rapiers. Players will no longer appear on top of the trader when teleporting to Daemonheim. The old level up interface has been removed from the Wise Old Man's tasks. Players can no longer bank the email validation XP lamp given to them by Diango in Draenor Village. Players are now able to reclaim a second pair of magic secateurs if they add a pair to the Dragon Keepsake box. Players can no longer jump to the same stepping stone. That's kind of really uninformative, but okay. Where? Players can no longer jump to the same stepping stone somewhere in the world. There you go. It's been fixed somewhere in the world. I have no idea. I'm assuming maybe Clan Wars. That's about the only thing I can think of. But Clan Wars? Castle Wars even. Oh my god. This morning, telling you. Can't even talk. The permission button for moving a Clan Citadel's build tick is no longer permanently greyed out. That's okay. Fair enough, I can take that. Ninja fixes. When picking up ammo from the ground, it will be automatically added to your ammo slot if it currently holds the same item. Nice. A familiar time has been added to the list of active buffs when the player has a familiar summoned. Nice. Divination energy rifts can now be right-clicked to quickly access the memory converting options. Fair enough, it's kind of quick anyway. The lobby timer in the Sinkholes D&D has been sped up to allow players to get into games faster. Good times. Players will no longer lose a daily Sinkholes game when disconnecting from a game. Also good times. Signs and Portents of Life will no longer be activated in player-owned houses. Fair enough. The bonfire health boost will no longer reset to the minimum bonfire boost after logging out and in again. The bank chest near the Armadillo camp south of Valley is back once again. Yeah, sorry, I was singing that song on my head. I'm sure many of you may or may not know it. Holy Water is now a one-handed weapon. The prospect option has been removed from a large amount of locations it had remained on. The god capes that are obtained from the mage training arena can now be kept on death. Nice. The Tazar bank areas will now heal the player like other bank areas. Nettles can now be collected by any item worn in the hands equipment slot. Court cases will now award XP lamps as opposed to direct XP when completing the case successfully. And last but not least, HTML5 engine fixes. Some more texture fixes have been implemented. So there we go. So quite a lot of stuff all in all. Patches, a lot of it is kind of minor fixes, but then the ninjas come along and kind of make things kind of nice. So now when you pick up ammo, if you have it equipped, it'll instantly go into your ammo slot rather than your inventory, so that saves you fanning about. You've also now got a familiar timer on your buff icon table kind of thing, you know, wherever your other buff goes. So now you know how long your summoner is going to actually live for, which is nice. Saves you from having to open up the summon little tab window thing. Yeah. Also, fixes to sinkholes. All I can say to that is good times. The lobby timer is ridiculous. Other than that, that'd be pretty much it, people. Coming up this week, well, you now have your patch notes and stuff. Either later today or tomorrow, depending on how busy I actually am today. I'll hopefully get the majharrat memories mini quick guide thing. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, should have the guide up either later today or sometime tomorrow. What is after that? Thursday? Maybe we can start back up on the MCFS. Kitten is now back in the game. He's alive and well. He came back from France. He was slightly injured, but he's okay now. So yeah, he's back, so we can carry on with the MCFS about goddamn time. And Friday, I'm thinking quest guide. I'm not sure which quest to do yet on my nubcake. I might try to work towards Waterfall, because I'm pretty sure that gives me a nice chunk of strength XP, and that would be kind of useful. So yeah, Friday probably a quest guide, and then the Saturday and Sunday will likely be the MCFS updates again, although I will try to get another lore episode out, but I've no idea how well that's going to go, so yeah, you'll have to bear with me on that. So all in all, later today, tomorrow, majharrat memories guide, then MCFS, then quest guide, then MCFS, and possibly a lore sometime in between. Good times. So with that, people, I hope you are now well informed of what is going on, all the updates to the game. Good times. For you any other news, then I will be sure to let you know. So until next time, people, I will catch you all later. Have a good one.